Good morning, everybody. It's Roger Emerson here with your Monday Music Moment. This is number 4 in a series of videos about everything you wanted to know about arranging, composing, and publishing, but we're afraid to ask. Today, the segment is on the arranging process. And there's lots of different approaches. Mine is, I want to say, fairly organic, I think. Part of it depends on your original concept. Are you trying to recreate, say, a pop tune and you want it to sound like the pop tune? Or are you going to take a song and do a completely new sort of setting to it? For instance, my arrangement of Proud by Marshmello, I wanted it to sound like the original. But then I did Can't Hurry Love, the old Supremes number, and I wanted to do a pentatonic sort of approach to that. So that does sort of, dictate how you move forward. The other thing I always say is pick good songs and try not to wreck them. It's sort of in jest, but a certain amount of truth to that. When I say pick good songs, I am reminded of an event that happened years and years ago. And a student had asked a question about what was your least favorite song you ever arranged? And I said, oh, it was a song the publisher wanted me to do. It was way back when I sort of did whatever publisher asked. And it was a song called Slow Down, I'll Find You from a Susan Anton movie. And as soon as I said that, there was a teacher in the back of the room waving her hand, and she said, my kids love that arrangement. So it taught me a valuable lesson that just depends on who's doing the song. So, I think a good teacher that's passionate about a song can probably sell about anything to his or her kids. But anyway, so when I look at an arrangement, I make a decision right off the bat, sort of where it's going to go. The first thing I'll do is try and come up with a good key, something that's playable from the keyboard part, something that uses a moderate range. I'll look to see where the melody lies. And normally, maybe B flat to D or so, or A to F if it's real rangy. And from that point, then I usually have a lead sheet to work from. And lead sheet is something that has the melody and has the chords and the lyric. Sometimes I don't, and I transcribe. But generally, I'll look at the lead sheet and I'll go through and go, well, I'm going to start off with usually unison or octaves. And then maybe the second 8, I want to kick it up a little differently and maybe do a little 2-part counterpoint. And then, of course, it gets to the chorus. You normally open it up to big chords. So that's just a general rule. Again, when it comes to if it's accompanied and has a piano part, I'll make every effort to capture whatever was going on in the original arrangement in the keyboard part, because sometimes it's done just with piano. In fact, 50% of the time without, say, rhythm section or additional instruments. If it's a completely new setting, then I'm sort of free to have my way with what's going on harmonically. So I'll go through, I'll do verse, then a chorus, second verse. Do you make it the same? Do you change it a bit for variety? There are pros and cons to that from a teaching standpoint. Second chorus, maybe you voice it a little differently or higher, or add a descant over the top or something. And then usually, you get to a bridge section. And of course there you really want to contrast, and sometimes it would just be a solo, maybe with oohs and ahs underneath or something along those lines. Then you come out of the solo and you go, does it need another kick up? And then maybe if there's room, you do a key change and take it to the end. And toughest part sometimes writing the ending, particularly for songs that fade out. We try and do our best, but there you put your composer hat on and go from there. So anyway, and that's sort of the way I do it. I'll often tell students, there is no substitute for just diving in. You got to do it, and you got to listen to it, and you got to try it out with singers and see how it works. The other thing is I use Finale, but it doesn't matter. You can use Sibelius, Finale, any of the notation programs. Noteflight I really like, particularly with students, because it is cloud-based and the way you can share I think is really terrific. And then the neat thing about today's pop songs, the bulk of them are can be legally arranged at Sheet Music Plus in their Arrange Me feature. If you haven't taken a look at it, there's like 1.8 million songs that have been pre-approved. You can do your arrangement, you put the copyright information, and then you upload it, and you can even sell those off that site. So definitely something important to look at, and it's the legal way to do it, because you're not supposed to touch a copyrighted song until you get permission from the copyright holder. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. Next week I'm going to talk about the composition sort of process that I use, for what it's worth. And then that will probably pretty much, we've got maybe a few more questions to answer in this series. Then we're going to go on to maybe talking about some materials and resources that are working really well in a virtual or hybrid setting to try and give you some ideas as we forge ahead and make lemonade out of lemons. So until next week, this is Roger Emerson. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for all you do. Be well.